have to start with the basics though, right? Which is getting a store. But before we even go into that, I just kind of want to show you guys what's really possible online in general. I don't even want to talk about TikTok just itself, but online in general, because this simple fact that I'm about to share with you guys is the one major reason that most people are typically fascinated with my career online, and that's specifically selling physical products. Although I've made millions of dollars, as Stormy said, selling informational products, physical products is where everything started. But here is that fun fact, and this is why I want you guys to really open your minds to the possibilities, because you're going to be shocked at what I'm about to tell you right here. And the fact of the matter is, the reason that so many people are fascinated with my career is that it all began almost on a dare. I had a friend dare me and say, could you really sell anything on Amazon? And at that time, my confidence was so high in Amazon because I was literally going to all the Goodwills that I could go to in the city. And it was a smaller city that I lived in. And I was reselling books. And I saw how quickly these books were selling on Amazon that it made me think about the possibilities that if a dirty, old, smelly book was selling on Amazon in the snap of a finger, what could happen to any product? I was so confident that I took a dare from my friend to not only start a YouTube channel based on how I was about to sell this product, but I decided to sell a set of play food for kids. And we can even look it up and I'll show you what it looks like just so you guys can see what I'm telling you happened and it's real. So this is the brand that I used to sell on Amazon. And we can take a look at the images here. It was called Mommy Please. And as you see, even though I was competing with the Chinese, who we know have the lowest possible prices, I decided to make mine a whole different type of food. I decided to take it to another level, and I made the biggest, baddest set that I could. It was 202 pieces. And let's see if it might still be on Amazon here. 202 pieces. Yep, right here. You can see this is, so it's currently unavailable because I haven't sold it in so long. And this thing had over 2,000 reviews, but somebody just took it over. You see brand Hangulis. That's not me. I was brand Mommy Please. This is what...
Share your screen. Share your screen. You need access to share screen. Share screen. We want to see.
So excited to get started that
We excited too, girl.
Okay, now you guys can see it here. So this is the brand right here. Mommy Please Toys. And you can see that I decided to make my set the biggest, baddest set that there was on Amazon at the time, 202 pieces. Ladies, all this is, and gentlemen, all of you that are here, all this is a plastic play food set for kids. That's it. Here's my product still on eBay, and it's not popping up for some reason. Oh, here it goes. And $39.90 for a toy that is all plastic. And so what I did to make it fancier, to make it sexier looking, is I literally told the artist, let's make a mock-up of food having a food fight with one another so kids get excited when they see the box and they really want mine. And then let's also make a pizza, like a really nice looking pizza, because we know that's the American children's breakfast, right? Pizza. So then it all began there. And that really proved to me in the next span of 5 years, I made $20 million selling this play food on Amazon.com and eBay and other outlets of what was possible on the internet. So tonight, what I'm showing you is a whole nother place that you can sell this same type of product. And I'm going to show you guys how to be able to utilize this to be able to sell your own products online. And technically, whichever one that you want to choose. As we know, Pharmacy has a huge catalog, so you have a lot of choices. And again, if this can work for bananas, right? If this can work for plastic bananas, then it could literally work for just about anything. So let's go into a little bit more about what we're going to learn about tonight. So that is just a fun and interesting fact about me, is that $20 million worth of bananas, that should really get you guys excited, because you're selling things that people can reuse. People cannot reuse bananas when they're plastic. So tonight we're going to get into how to go about and do this. So how are we going to do it? Well, first off, we're going to start talking about how to set up your own store, because that's the most important thing. You got to be able to set up your own store. So we're going to go over that stuff because it's kind of like boring, but you've got to do it. So setting up a store is very important, and we're going to start by going into that and then getting things started. And then at the end, I'll hang out and answer any questions if you guys might have them. But in general, we want to set up your store so that it does two things for us. Okay, it's going to do two things for us. It's going to allow us to set up our own shop, which means we can sell these products while we sleep. They'll still be on sale on the internet, on a TikTok shop, and you'll be able to sell them. And secondly, you can create content to go to and make those sales for you while you're sleeping again or you're doing other things. The content sits up on TikTok and it makes sales for you. And then lastly, we're going to start to talk about live stream, but most importantly, when we're really going to cover live stream in person is the next training, so that we can get more hands-on approach. And we're also going to cover AI in person. So we're going to cover the two sexiest topics in person, but I'm still going to give you guys a couple tips on how you can get started tonight by doing that. And I'm going to show you that TikTok really has a really great layout to learn how to live stream that is going to be able to get you on live. A lot of people are very shy about it, but I think the community of people that I met at Stormy's place earlier in the month, they look like they were ready to go for live stream. And I'm going to excite you about live stream here in a second. So let's go ahead and get into this and how to get your own store. But before we even start, let me just tell you the future of e-commerce is live stream. And let me tell you why. This gentleman right here, and this is obviously a internet mock-up picture of him, but in China right now, which again, this will probably never happen in the US because there are 2 billion people in China, okay? And there's about 300 million in the US. But so far, the record
2
day
billion
in China, in one single day, 12 hours, a Chinese live streamer did $1.9 billion with a B in sales. This was a man named Austin Lee, and he sold lipstick. So I want you to think about that. He sold lipstick, he was a man, and he did 1.9 billion with a B in a 12-hour span. So if that doesn't get you guys excited about the potential that's out there, when in the USA, the closest to this has been so far 2.2 million, then I don't really know what you guys, what will get you guys excited. So again, I looked that up. You can look it up. Austin Lee crushed it, 1.9 billion. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about why, first off, live selling dominates e-commerce right now, and the future is headed towards there. And why it does that is just because people like to connect to people. Just like we're on the internet here, you could see me, you can see like there's a window behind me, you can see I'm here and I'm talking to you guys directly. But same thing for live streaming. It's nothing different than you have a product, you're selling it, and you're on a live stream, and people can jump on, they can ask you questions, and they can interact with you. So it's a place for people to just come in to not only build a community, but also people feel loyal to you because they see you. So they almost feel like they know you, and that's a huge benefit. So we're gonna show you how to do that. And again, in the future, and that is, we're at the, as Stormy mentioned, we are at the birth of the next revolution of e-commerce, which is social commerce, which again is like live stream selling and the way that you see people sell you things, right? Which is you're taking recommendations from people that are like your friends because they're like your peers, right? So it's similar to when you've got a friend or family member recommend a restaurant. If you value their opinion, or if they're just like you, chances are you take that opinion more highly than somebody that gives a product a 5-star review on Amazon. And that's because they're your friend. So live stream is projected to account to 50% of all TikTok sales. Right now, it doesn't even do 5%. So again, that should excite you guys as to where we're headed, because this is how it is right now in China. So in order to be successful in live streams, which we're going to learn here in a minute, is you always got to have good deals, and we're going to learn all about that stuff. But first, I just wanted to excite you guys about that. Let's jump into how to get this store going. So let me show you. I got that all set up so you guys can see how do we get our store going. So here we go. Let me get it. Here we go. So let's go ahead and talk about how we start this store so we can learn how to live stream and so forth. So tonight what we're going to cover is how to start from setup to getting your first sales. Okay. So these are the things that we're going to cover tonight. We're going to talk about TikTok ability and setting up your account, how to validate that a product is good, how to set up the product listing, and then how to convert the product and how to sell, right? And then how to measure performance. And then we're going to go into the live stream basics. So we got a lot to cover, so I'm going to jump straight in. And again, if you guys have questions, just save them. I'll stop every now and then take a couple questions and continue going. So let's first talk about TikTok ability. Okay, this is my good friend, Michelle Barnum Smith, made up these rules. So what are the rules to actually being able to tell whether a product is going to work on TikTok? And just to let you guys know, you can take notes, but I'm going to make sure that you get copies of these presentations. And I've also made a couple tools for you guys to use so that you can make all this so much easier. So how do we make sure that a product will work on TikTok and it has this TikTok ability factor? Well, first, we do want to promote visually engaging products. So I'll show you guys examples here in a second of what that means. But we also want to make sure the product solves a problem or creates a desire. Then we want to make sure it's easy to demonstrate and that it fits trending niches, and finally that it's priced for impulse purchases. So these 5 things are what we essentially look for, but we're not looking for all of them. We want to make sure that our product has at least 3. So, and I'm going to give you examples throughout. And literally, I can tell you that there's many when you look at it, because you can make anything visually engaging if you just kind of brainstorm about it. You can even, like a face mask. I know Pharmacy has a bunch of face masks. You can definitely do this with face masks by just having the face mask on while you make the video. That makes it visually engaging. But then we got to figure out, does it fit the rest of these? So we're going to go over a couple products here in a second to see how these rules fit the product. So once we make sure that it's TikTokable, then we kind of come to the understanding. You might say, like, well, why do we sell it on TikTok, Liz? Why not Amazon? Well, that's because on TikTok, you can almost instantly grow. And I told people this during our live in-person training, that the difference between TikTok and YouTube is, has anyone ever noticed that on YouTube, it just takes forever to grow? Like, you really got to put in months and months before you start to see a significant amount of people watch your content. With TikTok, guess what happens? Your first video will at least get 200 views. So once you get past that 200 view barrier, you know you're making progress. So it becomes important to just make content to see if you can get more than 200 views. So you'll instantly grow. Also, people appreciate authenticity. Like you can see right now, I'm here, my hair's all over the place. And I don't really care, because I could pop up and make a TikTok video right now and people are going to watch it, because it's not about being perfectly, look perfectly perfect with filters and so forth. TikTok is about being authentic and just your genuine self, right? And then lastly, it is an underserved market. So I asked this question, and I think Sheila was the only one that said she was 25 and under. She was 25 and under. Everybody else in the room was in their 30s. So the most underserved niche in all of TikTok is 35 plus. And guess what I know about 35 plus? They have the money, and they are usually the top buyers online, and they're usually women. So that is the biggest and most underserved niche. So that's why TikTok beats all other platforms. Now, here is the list of requirements that you guys will need to create a TikTok account, okay? You do need a US-based social, and then you'll need to have a couple pieces of information. One is your government-issued ID, which can either be a passport or a license of some sort. And then you're going to need EIN, and then finally, you will need some articles of incorporation. So you got to have some type of business. TikTok wants serious businesses on there. And if you don't have this stuff, it's pretty simple to just make. And again, it's one of those investments that you got to make in order to start your business. So, and you also need a personal TikTok account. So that's where we're going to start right there. So when you start this, the biggest thing is you're going to need to link a personal TikTok account to the TikTok account. And let me show you guys how to do that in case some people don't know, because I know there might be some people that don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen here and kind of show you the process. And a lot of people also ask, well, how many TikTok accounts can I have? You're going to see that I've quite a few. Okay, so you'll see right here, I'm going to hit on the press down menu right there. You can see that on here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of these are TikTok shop for creator accounts. But you can also see at the bottom, it says add account. If I hit add account, you'll see that I have a bunch more listed right here. So all I'd have to do is hit add another account or sign up, right? So in this case, I can hit sign up. And then right here, I use phone or email. So when I hit phone or email, what I always encourage people to do is always use a Gmail account. Never use a phone, because once your phone's connected to it, it's difficult to transfer ownership or get somebody else to help you post stuff. And then you put your birthday. So whatever your birthday is, say my birthday is November 14th. I'm just going to put my real birthday is 1974. So I can put my real birthday. I hit continue. And then right here's where, instead of having phone up at the top, I would switch to email. I go to email and I add my email address. That's all you need to do. Once you add your email address, make sure it is a Gmail and then hit continue. And then you should be registered and all set to go. Let me see if I have one I've got a spare email that I don't think I have a TikTok yet for. So I'm going to go ahead and enter it and see what happens. It might say I already have it, but let's just try it. And then I'm going to hit continue. Oh, it says you already signed up. Okay, so let me see. I think I have one other one. So I just kind of want to show you guys that it's really nothing big and to sign this up. And the reason that you'll need this is, I'm just going to try one more. Okay, there it is. Continue. I'm going to use another method. I don't want to use that. And then you create password. Once you create password, you just hit continue and you're pretty much ready to go. You now have a TikTok account and you now can post. So that is really step one, okay? And you're going to need to access this TikTok account a little later. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from here. Let's see. Okay, so now let's go back to, we've got all that. We created a personal TikTok. Now what do we need for the business registration, okay? Now we're going to need LLC or corporation, right? The EIN that I talked about earlier, a address that we're going to use, and I'm going to talk about the importance of this because I'm going to show you a couple examples because I'm telling you, I've had so many TikTok accounts and so many clients that have had TikTok accounts, so I've seen everything. We're going to need to be registered in the state, the articles that I talked about, the EIN, the license, but this is usually not required by the state, and then the operating agreement, which is typically the articles, right? It's an attachment to the article. Those are the things you're going to need. And then at some point after the registration, you're going to need banking account information to put inside of there. So that's a second step, but just have that all set up and ready to go because these are the things you're going to need in order to not only register the account, but to get paid. Okay, so also beware that there are some products that are restricted. So anything right now I can tell you that is 100% restricted is anything with GLP-1s. I don't believe pharmacy has anything like that, but you got to be very careful when it has to do with weight loss. You never want to mention the word weight loss. You never want to mention any type of word that says slim, and I'll kind of show you in a second how to be able to tell. But right here, when you get this presentation, there are 2 links right there where you can click into TikTok, and it'll show you some of the prohibited products. So obviously, you can't do like firearms or anything like that. Adult-related contents are not allowed. Things like that. But these 2 links will show you all that. And that is just, you want to avoid all these things because you don't want to risk that your account gets suspended because then you got to start over from scratch. So let's go ahead and show you the process for setting up a shop right now. And you can see it's pretty straightforward. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, let me slog out of this one. This is first what a shop looks like. So right here you can see with this particular shop, this one in this 30-day span did $180,000 in GMV, and which means that's $180,000 in sales, 4,300 orders, and 5,200 items sold. And the product that this one sold most of that with were Flamingo swim trunks. So these are Flamingo swim trunks, and I'm telling you, almost anything you can imagine will sell out there. I have even personally sold, I was actually talking with a friend of mine today, Trump toilet paper. And I actually showed him the Trump toilet paper, and he couldn't believe it. This was like back in maybe 2014 that I was selling the Trump toilet paper, and I was selling 1,000 units a day. So if you think about that amount of like 1,000 toilet papers a day is what I was selling, and this was on Amazon.com. So these kinds of products, anything you can imagine can sell. And that Trump toilet paper, it was priced at $19.95. So you can do the math there and figure out how much I was making a month selling toilet paper with Donald Trump on it, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it. So, okay, so how do we set this up? I'm going to log out of this one and show you guys how to do that. Then I might have to log back in to show how this all works. So all you got to do is go to seller.tiktok.com. Okay, and when you're there, it probably asks you this, America's Seller. You're going to go to USA and hit enter. And then you're going to go down here, don't have an account, sign up now. Okay, so when you sign up, what you're going to need to do is enter a phone number or an email. So let me just add one here. Let me think of one that I have. So you just hit the email, you're going to hit continue, and then it's going to have you pick these 2 objects, you hit confirm. All right, so now you go here, and it's going to be our regular show. You've already registered. Okay, that email for it. Okay, so now I got to enter the email here. So I'm already registered with that one. So we'll go. But it'll do the same thing for you right here. It's going to tell you. All right, so I'm going to log in here. And they're going to have to send a code. So what you're going to do here is hit send a code. It should be sending. And now I'm going to have to go check my email. So it's fine. Actually, give me a second to look it up.
So she is showing how to start selling on TikTok Shop. She's going through it step by step to sell on TikTok Shop.
Let me make sure there's no questions either, since we're going into this account setup. All right, I found my code, so give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Okay, you guys should be able to see the screen now. Okay, which option best describes your business? So then you can just go to pick seller. I sell products that I create on my own and my brand. Okay. Next. And then this is where you go, whatever type of thing you have set up. So if I recommend to do the S sole proprietorship. Again, you might have a business partner, but it does look now that like TikTok is allowing individuals. You can also do that. So then you go ahead and hit next. And then this is where you'll enter your legal business name, right? So I'm just going to put, and then my street address. So you go in and fill this in right here. I'm just going to fill in my address where this business operates out of. Okay, so then after that, state, city, it's going to ask for state, city. And it's pretty self-explanatory now that it's on there. Let's see. I don't know why it keeps getting rid of this. Okay, there's verify business details. Okay, if you want to try again, please update your name and address if they look correct. Oh, legal business name, yeah. This is a brand new one that I just started, so let me see, it might not. Okay, so now we'd have to provide proof of business. So for this one, I'd have to upload these documents. And once I upload them, since they couldn't verify it, then this is also my residential address. And then you'd put your EIN here and hit next. Now, once you do that, it's going to ask you a couple more things. So I'm not going to do that right now. It's going to ask you who your primary representative is. So let me kind of just talk to you through what you'll do in that section. On primary representative, they're going to ask you to put your name, your information, and your ID number. Okay, and then they're going to ask you to upload your ID. So like right here, it's going to do the same thing, but for your personal information. And then it's going to ask you to upload the ID right here. And then you'd hit next. Now, here's the important part. Let's say right now, this particular business name, I have it listed with my address in Texas, which is the address that I officially have with this particular LLC. But my ID still shows that I'm in Florida. You got to make sure that you don't have too many different addresses. You got to make sure like your business is under your business address and your ID is under your home address. And they might ask for a utility bill to prove that you live at the home address. So that's the real tricky part, is make sure that your business is either your personal address or an official business address, and that if it's your personal address, your ID matches that personal address. Because if it doesn't, they will question it. So I have had clients where they had a business partner and they had 3 or 4 different addresses going on, and TikTok suspended them and requested more information. So you got to make sure that those are really similar, that they make sense, right? Which is, this is a business address here, and I use this address as a business address. So my ID right now, since it shows my Miami address on it, it's not going to really make sense to TikTok. I'm going to have to be able to explain that to them. So then lastly, you're going to enter a shop information, which is just basically what you're going to name your shop. Okay, so it'll be whatever you name your shop, whatever you want to call it. And then they're going to hit a review application. I believe in the review application, they also ask you to enter a W-9. One of these, they ask for the W-9, and then you hit submit. And then it takes about 48 hours. They will then email your email that you listed here under the application, and then let you know if they need additional information or if you're all good. And then the last step, and I'm going to show you the last step on another account. I think they showed on this account here. Okay, so this is another account here. The last step is you're going to have to link an account. So when you log in, you just click the little, it's going to look like this. This is a pretty fresh account right now. You log in, you hit this little thing, and then you go to my account and linked accounts. And that account that we created in the beginning, it's going to ask you to link a TikTok account. So what we've got to do is either create an account, which is like I did earlier, or use an existing account that you have. Now, let me explain this to you guys because this part's super important. That account that we made, is there anybody in here that's tried to get approved for TikTok Shop for Creator in the past? Just give me something in the chat so I know that you guys have tried in the past. Has anybody tried to get that approved? Okay, yes. Okay, a lot of people approved. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Anybody ever not get approved? Okay, so a lot of people not get approved. So the beautiful thing about this, and yeah, a lot of you ladies are on it. I love it. Okay, not approved. There's somebody that's not approved. The beautiful thing about this is that once you get approved for a TikTok shop, any account, even one with 0 followers, will get approved through this right here. So you'll automatically have an account that you can use to market and sell your own products. So I'm going to explain, Kendra, that's a great question, and I'm going to show you how to get around that particular question. So that's a fantastic question. I'm going to circle back to that question. I'm actually going to write it over here because that's a fantastic question. Okay, so let's talk about why this is like huge. Is once you go through this process and you get this particular account set up, you are from that account that we just made, which is over here, all you got to do is add it. So either you create it or you use your existing account and you link it. But here's the thing. If you guys are already making money with TikTok Shop for Creator, I would strongly advise probably making a new one, only because you can still promote the other stuff, but if you want to keep it all branded just to whatever stuff you're doing with pharmacy on one account and then that one on another, then you would do a separate account. But you can still use your existing account and link that. But if you've not been approved, you create a new account and then you just verify that account on the app, and which basically means they're going to ask you a couple questions to verify you are who you say you are on the app. And then once they approve it, that account can be linked. And here's the other thing too. You can also link both the accounts. So you can link 2 more marketing accounts. So you can technically have up to 3 accounts that all get connected to one TikTok shop. And you can literally put content on all 3 of those, marketing whatever products you're doing. So that's real good. Let me make sure what to do if we're in Canada. There's a couple workarounds, so I'll figure that out for you, Tammy, and let you know soon. We'll probably form a group somewhere so I can start answering that. We might do a Discord or something else like that. That way we can all answer each other's questions. It might be best to do like a Discord. So you can link, Bless, 3 accounts to TikTok Shop. 1 will be an official account and 2 will be marketing accounts. So those are just like TikTok accounts that you link to your shop. And those accounts are allowed representatives for you to be able to sell stuff. If you had your creator account shut down last year, Latrell, first off, the biggest questions you got to make sure you ask yourself is, what was I saying on the videos? That way I know I'm not going to do it again. And you start a whole other shop yourself in your own name. And then what I would suggest is you get a relative to verify that shop, the accounts for you, which means like you'll open up a new account and then you'll have like your husband, your sister, your brother, your kid that's 18 or older verify it for you, so that it doesn't have your band link into it. So it's three accounts. Sellers, products I create and said, I think it could be reseller, Cheyenne. Let me check. I'm sorry, who is it? Shavana. Let me check before you guys do that, I'll check with Stormy and Vanessa tomorrow on that, because I think we got to figure out what pharmacy's policy is on that. So that's a fantastic question. So today, like I said, we'll have the recording for you guys and the slides so that you can come back and refer to it. Save the 3 accounts thing. Jay, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to get that question. And again, I'll answer these questions. We'll figure out where we can be on a board, and then we'll continue with the rest of the presentation. So I don't want to keep you guys here that late. So what happens is when you, so this is how it is, okay? There's 2 ways to sell on TikTok Shop. There's one to go out there and find creators, which is pay other people an affiliate commission to sell your stuff, which we're not going to do here. We'll talk about that in the future. What we're going to do here is I'm going to teach you how to sell your own stuff, whether it's you, yourself, or an AI. And the AI we'll cover in the future. But in order to do that, you're going to have a TikTok Shop for Creator account, which means either have 5,000 followers, which a lot of people don't, and a lot of people do, as you saw here, or you can start with a fresh from scratch account, but the only way that account will be allowed to be a creator is if it gets connected and linked to your shop. So when I went over here, I went to my account and then went to linked accounts, and there's no linked accounts to this one. So I would either create a brand new account from scratch, how we did earlier, or I would use an existing account that I had and link them to the seller account. And you can do this with one, which will be called your official account, which is, it's like your main account. And you can add 2 marketing accounts, which means in total, you can have 3 total TikTok Shop for Creator accounts that they'll get designated immediately as TikTok Shop for Creator, promoting your stuff to your shop. So those will be connected directly to your shop. So that's how it works. Okay, so that's kind of how you do it. Those are the important steps. And again, this is not like a rocket, like it's an art almost to registering for the TikTok Shop. So that's kind of what I want to make sure that we all have a place to go where we can, where I can help you guys in case you get stuck. So I'm going to go in and continue to go on, and then we will find out the questions. I'll talk to Stormy and Vanessa regarding the how to go about and do the reseller or the other method. All right, so now we're going to go into like, how do we know a product is good? So this is an important part, and this is going to depend on a couple things. And remember, we covered the TikTok ability of a product, which my good friend Michelle made up, and she saw based off of all her work with TikTok Shop. But what we're going to talk about now is how can we tell if a product's going to be any good, right? So the easiest ways to do this is to, number one, either do it the free way, which is using TikTok, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now, or we can use a tool. So I'm going to show you both things. TikTok itself, we can also use tools within TikTok, and we can just do research based off of products that we think might do good. So we're going to talk about all those right here. So what we're looking for primarily, remember, 3 out of the 5 TikTok ability factors. Impulse price range is also important. $15 to $40 sweet spot is what people usually go for. And of course, the visual wow factor. Like, how can we make this stand out when we think of creating content for it? And then just think about, can I demo this in a quick 15 to 60 seconds, I would say. Like, can I show people how to use this? Makeup is a great example. So Pharmacy has a lot of makeup products. This will work very well for those makeup products. So let's go ahead and go into how we go about and look for this, okay? First one is using a tool. So there are a lot of tools that can help you do this. These tools do cost money, but they do have free trials that can help you at least find that first product. So the example that I'm using here is called Kalo Data. Now there's also another one similar to Kalo Data called FastMoss, FASTMOSS. And then finally, there is one called EchoTik, which is just spelled ECHOTIK. Okay, all 3 of these will work just fine. They all do very similar things. So the big thing here is we can look based off of a couple of different ways to find these products. We can go straight to the product tab, and we can just look. Like right now, the current number one product on all of TikTok is this hard cooler. It's a gigantic Ninja cooler that holds like beers and stuff for tailgating and things like that. And if you think about it, why would this be popular right now? It's football season, so people are using these coolers to go tailgate, to store their beer, their alcohol, and their soda, right, to go out to the games. Then there's these knives. Then there's this Korean glass skincare from Medicube, a Dr. Malaxin peel shot, and then there's an auto scooper for cats. But you can see some of these products, $180. It's a significantly expensive product. It's still doing $2.17 million a month. So the best and easiest way to go about this, and the fastest way, is take any product that you're thinking of selling on Pharmacy that you know, okay, I can think of a way that I would do this video. I'm going to put the makeup on myself. And I think they had like a lip liner that was similar to one that went viral a while ago. This one right here has done, this lip liner stain peel has done $500,000. So obviously that product would work, right? So it would work. And I'm going to click on that just to take a closer look at it. And the other thing that I'd like to see when I look at these is like, see, is there a demand for it, right? There's clearly a demand. I'll also try to look at the competition. I mean, there's obviously a lot of competition with this particular niche, but I also like to see what kind of videos are being made here. And can I remake these?
Shade Nude is finally back in stock. If you don't know what this is, it's a lip liner.
And all I'll do is this allows you to like scroll over the video and be able to see each of these videos and how much money they made. This girl made $13,000 in revenue from this particular video. This one made 11.5. And so really there's a lot of content on here, a lot of people making videos, and a lot of people making some money. So what it really comes down to is being able to tell, okay, specifically how well is this product working? So I'll give you a good example of a product that I know works really well, especially if there's anybody out there that does speak Spanish. This works extremely well, but it's coffee. Coffee is hot right now on TikTok, and there's all sorts of different types of coffee. There's protein coffee. There's these pods from Ninja are killing it right now. This, let's see, 3-pack probiotic coffee, this mushroom coffee. But the thing that stood out to me when I was looking this up is there's a lot of like individual pack coffees. And I think Pharmacy does have that as well. And they do really well. People are liking to have like these separated packs of coffee. So that I know would work well. And you can see there's a lot of different coffees, but you really kind of have to like look at the different products that are out there. And so perfect examples. Let's say I wanted to get in the protein coffee niche. I can see that off of the protein coffee, there's really one protein coffee that's dominating it. It's this Javi. And beyond that, there's, this one looks like a different one. And this is Javi also. They're all Javi. And so Javi is just crushing it. So me, as if I was thinking of selling a protein coffee, I would notice that there's this Slate Milk and Javi and really nobody else. So there's 2 companies that are getting a pretty decent amount of sales, and Slate Coffee is doing okay. There's a couple other ones. So I would be like, okay, let's do it, because there's really 2 companies that are doing this. And I know that I could come in here with some AI content and then do some content myself and live stream myself. And really what I would look at is Javi making any money live streaming? And they're making, it says right here, 500,000, 28,000 in live revenue. That's not a lot of money. So it shows me that there's a huge hole for making live content. So that's what I want you guys to look for. This is an easier way to break it down. Now, if I'm going to look at, and really what it is ideally looking, okay, what kind of product? You have a catalog of products, starting to look for them on here by putting in some keywords here. Let me think of another product. There was collagen shots, right? So if we look at collagen shots, and we want to see, is there anybody making money selling collagen shots? Okay, that's not collagen shots. Let's see. Okay, this is collagen peptide powder, 581,000. Collagen peptide powder, 500,000. Those are all promising things to look at, because I'm not noticing any collagen individually packaged shots, right? Which to me is convenient. So it has that viral TikTok ability thing, whereas everybody else is carrying either a powder and having to mix it and have a disgusting taste, or you taste the beauty collagen peptide shots, which, as I remember from Stormy's house, they were pretty tasty, right? So that right there shows, all right, collagen peptides just showed me that there was 2 companies making over $500,000 a month. But we have a unique angle in that we have these little collagen peptide shots. Now, a lot of you out there might say, well, what's going to happen, Liz, if I sell that and so does Shivana, who we talked about earlier, or Jay, who we talked about earlier? What if so many of us are selling it? Here's what the beautiful thing about TikTok is, people, that it does not matter. Let me tell you why. TikTok is a type of marketing called disruption marketing. It means that when I'm on TikTok to be entertained. I'm not on TikTok to buy anything. I'm there to be entertained, but as I'm being entertained and watching cat being attacked by cucumber videos or cat AI videos, as I'm watching that being entertained, all of a sudden, one of the videos that you guys make all of a sudden catches my attention. And guess what I want to do? I'm almost compelled to buy whatever it is you're selling because you do such a good job at presenting that product to me. So I'm completely disrupted from what I'm doing, and I'm all of a sudden pulling out my credit card and wanting to buy. It's different from Amazon. When we go shopping on Amazon, we are literally searching for whatever we already know we want to buy with a keyword. On TikTok, we are disrupted from our entertainment to, again, almost be convinced to buy a product. That's how good the creators are, and that's how good I want you guys to get. So always think about that. The actual opportunity on TikTok is almost endless, and that is because you are literally disrupting somebody from something they weren't even aware that they needed. That's the difference between TikTok and Amazon. So that is why there can be literally hundreds of sellers for one product, and that product will still sell because it is the individual seller and their content that makes the person want to buy the product so badly. It's not the product itself. So just think about that. Okay, so now that we kind of went over Kayla data and how it is easy to use, remember, think about TikTok ability. Look at, is there other competitors doing pretty well in the market? And we're talking about a handful. And does my product have a special, unique, they call it a unique mechanism in marketing, or a unique selling proposition that would make the buyer want to buy mine instead of what's already on there? And we already just proved it with individually wrapped coffee packs and beauty collagen individual shots, okay? Those are 2 that stand out to me. And that's just I've not even thought about the rest of the catalog. It's just the things that I saw sitting over there that Stormy gave me a couple, so I see them over there. All right, so the second way to verify that a product is good, or how to think about, okay, is this product doing any good, is by using TikTok itself. And the way we use TikTok itself is by going into TikTok and then searching whatever product we're thinking of selling. So if we go back to, let's see, I'm going to look at one of my accounts here. That was actually really, this is a type of
shop. Basically,
this is hilarious,
you
guys.
walk, you shower, right as you're about
This is right here. This guy's basically teaching some of the stuff I'm going to teach you guys when we see. I've worked with him extensively, and he's a genius when it comes to angles. Okay, so if we search here, let's go back to collagen peptides. Whatever we're thinking of selling, you can see powder, capsules, peptide, before and after peptide pills. So there's a demand because there's all these different things. I'm gonna put collagen peptide shots, and there's really nothing there. So let's take a look if anything pops up.
Now get a 2-pound bag for the price of the 1-pound bag.
Okay, so there is this one right here.
That's my ingredients.
Inner glow shot.
Card now.
Okay.
Come back to your cart to claim exclusive flash.
I'm gonna hit a few more products. And there are a couple. Okay, a couple. This one up at the top, $34.99, 1.7 thousand sold. This one, 135 sold. So there's a couple pretty good ones. There's like 2. These are expensive at 122. And so yeah, it looks. I can just tell by looking at this that there's only a couple and there's a demand, because we got this one with 1.7 thousand sold. Then we've got this one right here with 135. And then we know that collagen peptides sell in general pretty well. So this looks like a pretty promising one. So that is the simple process that I would go through to figure out, will this sell? Like best collagen for women is great because you can literally use all these keywords and just create content based off of what's being searched. And again, we'll talk about how to create these later. But this is actually a great way to make a video, is to come out of the shower like that. Because people are going to wonder why I'm coming out of the shower with his clothes on. So he just said that, what I said. Okay, so that is how we validate products pretty quick and easy. Let me go into the chat. Any questions that you guys have? Yeah, we got a lot. There's quite a bit. You're going to get a recording, a course. Shauna, you'll get a recording. So, okay, so we're getting into that next. Candace, we're going to jump in there. Can you do men's cologne? Yes, you can do men's cologne, of course. I would search it you want me to do it real quick on here? Sure, let's do men's cologne real quick. We'll do that one as a last example, and then we'll go on. So I can tell you colognes sell real well. I can already tell you that just off the top of my head. If you can sell the colognes and the perfume on lives, there's ladies that make millions of dollars selling perfumes on lives, like millions of dollars. Can your dress be the same as your business dress? Absolutely. That'd probably be the easiest way to do things. Can you put your business website or have products on? So you should have some products on hand. We'll talk about that here in a second. A purchase order product. So you can use, Shavana, when you buy from pharmacy, that's technically a purchase order. So you can tell them you only have 50 units in stock and get like 50 units of something or a bunch of different like things and show that. Yep, perfume. Yep, Taryn just said perfumes and cologne sell extremely well. Like extremely well. I'm not even joking. If it's under individual, that's fine. And Angia, you should be good. Angela, sorry, I can't see that well. I don't have my glasses on. Toothpaste sells extremely good, Rhonda. It sells really good. EIN and difference between EIN is the letter you literally get from the IRS that you register for at irs.gov, and the articles are from the state. You are going to have to ship the products out. Yes, whoever's on the iPhone. That's part of it. You do have to do that. We don't have to have the 5,000 followers. I showed you guys how to get around that. So yeah. FDA, not to say about FDA, I do have a tool that you can use, so I'm going to show that here in a second. All right, so let's jump back in, and then we'll jump in here, but in a different industry. You don't have to look, I can't see that good, guys. It's Leguamna. You can just you can use the same one if you want, or you can do the separate one. You can, Ebony, so I'll show you where you're in the Caribbean. So, okay, I'll get you guys instructions. You still are going to have somebody that can set up the shop for you in the USA unless you have ITIN. So I will find out how people in Canada are doing it. I'll ask some of my clients. Yes, you do have to have some inventory, Jackie, but there's a way around that by doing just 50 units. You don't have to have that many. You can have 25 to 50, and that's technically inventory, right? So if you've got a creator account already, you can start by testing out the content yourself, and then moving from that to then buying 25 a unit. But I can tell you from selling on live stream, like I've sold the dumbest things on live streams. I've almost been shocked at what I've been able to sell on live streams, and 25 will be sold if you get on there and consistently do it. Okay. Yeah, so the business questions, like Leguamna said, you can do it the same thing. You don't have to create a different LLC, but you can later on. Okay. All right, ladies, let's jump back into the presentation so we can get through the rest. How to list products, okay? And like I said, we're going to cover a lot when we do in person. And we'll see about if we need additional way to answer some more questions. So let's see if I can get to the next. Okay, here we go. All right. So, listing, I'm going to make this so simple for you. Obviously, it's important to have your listing optimized and done really well. and TikTok helps you. So I'll show you in a second. The most important part is the title, and then the title, what I'm going to give you guys is something that I made. It's a way to create all this for you so you don't have to worry about it. You're going to love the way this works. I'm going to show you here in a second. But this you're going to get so you know how to create titles. And let's look at some listings just so you kind of have an idea. We've already seen a few, but let's jump into one of my accounts. Let's see this. I don't even know. I've got so many accounts on here. I don't even. Oops. I might have to log into this one. Okay, so as I log into it, that's double check. Okay, perfect. It's not gonna make me do any of the extra stuff. Let's see if there's any other questions. You can drop ship if you want, but I would strongly in the future they're gonna get rid. They'll probably
No, so Liz, hey Liz.
Yes.
No, from my understanding, when it comes to TikTok Shop, you have to ship within 24 to 48 hours.
Oh, they
And if you
take
don't,
longer. Okay.
they'll flag your account. So you cannot afford to sell anything and be depending on pharmacy to send their group of
Gotcha.
shipping.
Okay.
So whatever, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. Whatever product you decide that you're going to be selling on TikTok Shop, you as the pharmacy influencer are going to have to be willing to make that upfront investment because you have to be willing to have the product to ship out yourself. You can't afford to get flagged. Remember, I told you guys I've already had a $10,000 hour on TikTok Shop with Perfect Storm Collection. So I know a lot about, like, there's a lot of things that we're going to learn. You guys didn't get everything tonight. That's why I definitely want to encourage you guys. First of all, can we drop some fire in the chat for Hurricane Liz? Come on, you guys. Let's drop some fire in the chat. If you guys feeling excited about the future and your ability to take your retail and pay your bills and have freedom and not have to depend on anybody to recruit and all that other stuff, again, you drop some ones in the chat. If you feel more confident that, oh my God, wait a minute, I could retail my way to freedom. That was the whole premise of this training tonight, to get you guys, number one, clear on the possibilities of what you could do with TikTok Shop. Definitely, you know, Hurricane Liz is more of the expert. I'm not the expert, but I would tell you this. I had a $10,000 day, and the only problem that I had was I had to really make sure that we shipped within 48 hours. And there were some times where we had a little issue because we did so much sales. Like, there's a lot of different tricks to it because it's very entertaining, like you said. It's like, you know, I was talking to Sheila. I'm like, I'm wearing this red lipstick. And I was like, what about Red Lip Wednesday? You know, red lips and conversations, like whatever. And next you know, it's a community all around red lips and conversation. You know, so it's so many different creative things that you're going to learn how to do. But yes, be knowing, be clear that definitely whatever that product that you are going to be posting on your TikTok Shop sale, you're going to have it. So I know you're going to do some Q&A really quickly. I'm outside actually at a restaurant with my family real quick, the Platinums and Manaya and, you know, Sheila. We got Diamond, Sheila. We got Diamond, Alka, Scarver, Natasha, TK. We got leaders out here tonight. So I know that you got a few more minutes for us. Can we do a couple of questions? Because I know some people are asking questions, and I know that you are better suitable to answer them. So can y'all raise your hand? Let's see. Can you do a little bit of questions, Hurricane?
Absolutely. Let's do some questions.
And real quick, you guys, don't forget part 2 is going to be in person. That is going to happen for the directors and above. That is not going to be a complimentary experience. It's going to be $97. And all you're covering, honestly, is food. And me personally, I don't let nobody work for free. I want to be able to tell Hurricane Liz we appreciate her service and her teaching. Thank you for your time. That's my goal, to never burn my bridges with a teacher like Hurricane Liz. One of the things she didn't say, I got to say this, you guys, she knows a woman who made $2.1 million in 12 hours. Personally, has worked with her. So again, in 12 hours on TikTok Shop, I mean, I know that there are people on here tonight that, again, your life will change with $1,000 a day. So real quick, let's do some Q&A real fast, and then let's let Hurricane Liz go by her night, because y'all know tomorrow's Monday. So raise your hand real quick, and let's get about 15 minutes worth of questions, and we're going to let Miss Liz go to bed. So who we got first?
Rose Alexander.
Hey there, team. Coach, I just want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Miss Liz, Hurricane Liz, I do want to say thank you so much. But my question is very simple. It's about the registration. And it's a question that was already answered, but I want to do mine tonight. So do we do the seller or the reseller account? And I think she said the coach was going to answer that. But do we do the seller or the reseller account? Do we know now?
Yeah, I'm wondering. If Stormy can answer that. If pharmacy has told her what the best way to go about that is.
So my question would be, we're reselling pharmacy's product. So would that be a reseller or would it be a seller?
Yeah, it would be a reseller, I would think, and I think that they might have some documentation under like when you guys signed up that says you're allowed to resell it. Because the only other question that we would have to find out is if there's MAP pricing, which basically means like, is there a certain price that you have to stick to sell over that price? Which I think
there are. They asked us to stick to double. They asked us to double whatever we're selling.
Okay.
That's the ask.
Okay, so then there'd definitely be reseller, and then we'd probably just need to make sure. I'm sure we could get in contact with the right person to make sure everybody has like some sort of letter that says they're allowed or now allowed reseller for at least that for the future.
All right, y'all.
Yes,
Come
I'm
back for
gonna
part two.
actually get that myself. I was already told.